Hello, I'm Mrs. J, and today we're going to look at the area between two curves. Maybe. When you're finding the area between two curves, or not between two curves, but just the x-axis. The next section will show you between two curves, but between the x-axis and the function, the first thing you need to do is graph it, and you only need the graph on the interval they give you. For example, this one is 0 to 6. So we're only interested from 0 to 6. And then you want to find any x-intercepts in AB. Like, does it cross the x-axis? The area above is a positive and the area below is a negative. So if we take this and graph it, we know it's a parabola. It's going to move up 9 and come down. And so we can graph that using our calculator. Under y equals, put the equation 9 minus x squared. Go to your window, -2, 8, 1, -30, and 15, and then graph it. It's looking like that. So from 0 to 6. So it is crossing. And you can count it. 1, 2, 3. It's at 3. But there's another way you can set this equal to 0 and solve. If we set the function equal to 0. Or, let me shut this bright light off. Oh, that didn't help. There we go. To find the 0, you can go to second and calc. Go down to 0. Left bound, use your window, -2. Right bound 8. The reason we can use that is because there's only one intercept in all of that. And that's why you also don't have to guess. But if you wanted to guess, it looks like it's 3. Hit 3 and enter, and I was right, it's 3. So it will give you your zeros. So this is crossing at 3. So we want this area here, and then this. So we're going from 0 to 3. And that is above the x-axis, so it's going to be positive. 9 minus x squared with respect to x. Now this one, from 3 to 6, we're going to subtract because this is below, so it's going to give us a negative value. Area should be positive, so we're going to take the opposite. So we take the integral. 9x minus x cubed over 3 from 0 to 3 minus 9x minus x cubed over 3 from 3 to 6. So this one is top minus bottom, f of 3 minus f of 0. And then f of 6 minus f of 3. So we go to y equals, and we write in this new equation, 9x minus x to the third divided by 3. Jeez, oh man. Go to your table and plug in values. Now we needed 3, 0, and 6. There it is. 3 is 18, 0 is 0, and 6 is a negative 18. So 3 was 18, 18 minus 0, and f of 6 was negative 18 minus 18. So we have 18 minus negative 36. Negative and negative is a positive, so it's 54. So the area under this curve is 54 units. And we just used our table. You could always write the table so then you remember where you got it from. Let's try another one. So the first thing we want to do is graph this from negative 1 to 2. So we go to y equals, and we plug in our graph. It was e to the x. E is where the natural log is, to the x, close the parenthesis, minus 1. And our window, click your window, negative 3, 3, negative 5, 10, and graph. It's going from negative 1 to 2. So we want this area and this one. And we can see it's crossing at 0. But if you weren't sure, second calc to 0, use your window, negative 3, 3, and then you don't have to guess, there's only 1. And notice this is e to the negative 15. That's 10 to the negative 15. So that means it's 0. So it's crossing at 0. This one is below. So I'm going to go from negative 1 to 0. It's below, so it'll be negative e to the x minus 1. This one's above from 0 to 2. And so it's a positive. Then we take our integral. E to the x is e to the x because it's e to the x divided by the derivative of the exponent, which is 1, minus 1x. And this is from negative 1 to 0. And then the next one, the same integral, e to the x minus x, and we're going from 0 to 2. Now this one I'm going to round 4 decimal places. So we need to plug it into our calculator. It's e to the x minus x. And go to our table, and we're going to use a negative 1, 0, and 2. Now if Alex wanted more than 4 decimal places, go over and it'll have the whole decimal place. This is not cooperating tonight. There it is. So you can have more decimal places if needed, if what you have here is not enough. So those are our values. Plugging them in, we have this negative f of 0 minus f of negative 1 plus f of 2 minus f of 0, top minus bottom. F of 0 is 1 minus 1.3679 plus 5.3891 minus 1. And if you calculate that, this plus 4.3891, adding them, 4.757. So that's how you would find the area in the curve. We're going to try a story problem. It's a profit. Carla Harvey Communications, a small company of science writers, found that its rate of profit in thousands of dollars, so profits in thousands, after 2 years of operation is given by this. Find the total profit in the first 3 years. So that means we want to find the profit in the first 3 years. We're going to go from 0 to 3. If we wanted the first 5 years, we'd go from 0 to 5. So first 3 years, 0 to 3, and you take the integral, because this is how the profit changes. It's not the profit function. So we need to take the integral. There we go. So now I take the integral, dt. Remember, you work with this part, so keep everything the same till you get to that exponent. So we add 1 to the exponent, and we get 4/3. We divide by 4/3. And the derivative of the inside, which is 2t plus 2. We don't need plus c because we're plugging in values. Now you can't stop until this 3t, well, you can pull out a 3, but the t plus 1 has to cancel. If you plug in 0 too soon, it's not going to work. So you have to reduce. On the top, I can pull a 3 out. In the bottom, I can pull a 2. That way the t plus 1's cancel. Now simplifying this would be 8/3, and then flip it and multiply. It becomes 9/8. Now we need f of 3 minus f of 0. Again, just put this into your calculator. Under y equals. This one we don't have to graph. But you just put the 9/8 parenthesis x squared plus 2x plus 2. This exponent you have to put in the parentheses. Whoops, I hit exponent twice. Go to your table. and plug in 3 and 0. So we have 9x, 8's x squared plus 2x plus 2 to the 4/3. And go to our table, and I plugged them in already. So f of 3, 49.176. F of 0, 2.8348, and we subtract those. To get the profit, remember profit was in thousands, so $46,341.20. B says find the profit in the 4th year. Well, if we only want a specific year, we need to go to 4, but if we go to 0 to 4, it's giving us all of them. So instead, you go from 3 to 4. That way you're only getting that 4th year. This is going to subtract out the first 3. We've already done this, and it's already in our calculator. We just need to find f of 4 minus f of 3. And f of 4 is 86.653. And the 3 we had 49.176. And if we subtract those, we have this. To find the profit, we multiply by 1,000, and it's 37,477 in the 4th year. Last one says, what is happening to the annual profit over the long run? Well, if you look at your exponent, this is telling you how your rate's changing. And since this is greater than 1, it's growing without bound because this is exponential, so it's growing without bound. That's everything for that section.